Travis Wingitzel. I've got over 9,000 videos, about 15 terabytes, over 9 years, with a specific theme for Mormons and the warning of the great danger you guys are in. I do introductions typically. We'll use pictures to help illustrate my message and to remind you of past videos so that I don't have to keep repeating myself. Using video clips to again remind you and hope that I can save Mormon lives, just as the Book of Mormon is attempting to do. In case you forgot, Mormons, the Book of Mormon is specifically for Mormons. It is not for any other religion. It's only for those who are Mormon, who join Mormonism. And the end of the book is the entire, utter destruction of the people. It is a tragedy. Thus my warning, to save Mormon lives before it is too late. And so there are those who are concerned for my health, who want me to shut up. Stop trying to save Mormon lives. It's not worth it. They're past feeling. They're hard-hearted. They're wax cold. They won't listen. They will try to murder you. Shut up, Travis. Shut up. YouTube has shut you up, Travis. Just shut up. Church has destroyed your life, Travis. Shut up. Not until I'm dead. 1,700 years ago and 5 months, Roman Emperor Constantine fulfilled the final body part of the idol statue god of King Nebuchadnezzar's dream by formulating Christianity. It means, in case you don't understand what a creation of a religion means, it means that Christianity did not exist prior to its creation. It means that the scriptures compiled in Christians' Bible do not belong to Christians, and especially are not to be interpreted as Christian. Because Christianity is the iron feet of Rome mingled with Christianity of Roman Emperor Constantine that shattered. And since Thanksgiving, the new Pope has confirmed this. He has come out and declared that 1,700 years and 4 months ago, Christianity was formulated. confirmed about Daniel's interpretation. Christianity has fallen by being shattered. The Pope must be a subscriber, because I've been talking about it since last year, and even wondering, will the Pope talk about it? All this year, it's here. Pope's not talking about it. And then 4 months late, there he goes. He confessed. The creation of another Christ, contrary to the Jewish Christ, specifically designed to maliciously turn against the coming of the Jewish Christ. So, in the 1200s, 1300s, there arose a Knights Templar. And so there's the story of them going to Jerusalem, and at the temple, the claim that they found underneath the treasury Egyptian gold plates, for which Friday the 13th then resulted them coming to America, burying the Egyptian gold plates in the ground under a rock. To preserve the bloodline of the Holy Grail, with the sign in the heavens of the coming date of his arrival. In this sign you will win. What Constantine called the Cairo, to replace the Jewish Christ. In the 1820s, William Morgan having learned of a plot to overthrow the United States of America and ultimately the entire world by a group that would infiltrate other groups, and especially a Christian group, to use the Jewish Bible dates, specifically from the book of Revelation, to coordinate and plot their future attack. And so he found Joseph Smith Sr., the Master Mason of the Yorkites with the Knights Templar, Ontario Lodge number 23 in Canandaigua, New York. Smith Sr. hid him while William Morgan was working on the book until 9/11, 1826. the enemy found out. Shut up, William. Shut up. No more YouTube videos for you. Joseph Smith Sr. now had the responsibility to get the book finished. He published Illustrations of Masonry under William Morgan's name, as it has exactly 116 printed pages of the content, ignoring all the blank pages and all of the other copyright pages and other stuff. 116 pages. How many coincidences, Mormons? How many does it take? So, Book of Mormon was completed. Joseph Smith Jr. was assigned to be the head of the church as the Jewish Christ, to prepare the way for the latter-day Holy Grail bloodline Christ. And Joseph Smith put out the Book of Mormon to as many who would convert, to be exclusive warning voice for Mormons. I guess we probably should include that too. Yes, we should. Yes, we should. So in 1832, Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball joined the church. They convert those who wanted revenge of whoever was responsible for 9/11/1826, who knew of their plot, who had been working on the book. They then went out on missions, likewise, but not converting with the Book of Mormon. They were lying to converts. Converts believed they were joining an American-founded Christian church, that it was the Church of Jesus Christ. And they preach only the Bible. Joseph Smith in September 1832, with Doctrine and Covenants 84, condemned the missionaries who were preaching against Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon, saying the whole church is under condemnation because of you. They would not listen. December 1832, section 86. Joseph then calls those missionaries who were lying about his church apostates. 1833, Joseph Smith comes out with the Book of Commandments. 1834, Sidney Rigdon raises his hand in a priesthood meeting and says, I propose a name change to the Church of the Latter-day Saints. All in favor, Unanimous. 1835, Joseph Smith learns Hebrew, obtains the Egyptian papyri, and Doctrine and Covenants is created, compiled. And the Quorum of the 12 Apostles are also formed, with 70 to be the missionaries now. The Quorum of the 12 Apostles were to keep track of where the church gets established, keep a record of it, and then assign the missionaries to locations where there is no church. And those missionaries go out 2 by 2, supposed to anyway, to present the Book of Mormon correctly, to warn of the coming danger to America and ultimately the entire world. And where they establish a church, a bishop would be called with a high council and a bishop's storehouse. The missionaries would return and report a church had been established, so that Thomas B. Marsh would write it in the Elder's Journal and notify Joseph so that an administration in that township could be made. Then Thomas B. Marsh would then reassign the elders. 1836, Kirtland Temple. The gathering of Mormons to Kirtland. Christians now find out that they're not supposed to be Christian. They're supposed to be Jewish. There's some other Bible, the Book of Mormon. There's a temple. And there's Joseph Smith as the Jewish Christ, leading them as the head of the church, with seer, prophet, revelator, and translator of Paleo Hebrew and Egyptian. They are furious that this is not the church that they thought they joined. And so in 1837, they rebel and war and attempt a coup. They form their own religion, the Old Standard Christian Church of Christ. January 12th, 1838. Oh, yeah, January 12th. This is just a YouTube channel. It's not an official document. It's not an official video. It is a warning. But occasionally, plus the pictures to remind you. Joseph and Sidney Rigdon were going to be assassinated. They were forced to flee Kirtland and would eventually get to far west Missouri. The Danites, as they would then call themselves in 1838, who were the missionaries lying about the church, converted by Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball in 1832. Caused the Mormons to follow them in an exodus to Missouri, where they were then threatened to join in Adamondiaman with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The storehouse was now turned into a treasury for Jesus, not the poor. There was blood oath atonement, severe sexual deprivation, not just polygamy. Where they were plotting to coup Missouri. And they told Thomas B. Marsh, join us. It is our plan to eventually take the United States and ultimately the entire world, using the Bible with the specific revelation dates for the latter days to coordinate our attack. Thomas B. Marsh said hell no and left the church with many other original Mormons, not converted by the Danites, and told all of it to the governor of Missouri, resulting in the extermination order. Joseph Smith was framed and blamed yet again, locked away in Liberty Jail with one of the Judases who had to take the fall. Some 40 years later, for Brigham Young's final Doctrine and Covenants, 1876, he records all of the actions of the Danites as forged documents of Joseph Smith, and includes his forged document of section 119 in its order. Section 115, section 116, section 117, section 118, section 119, section 124, section 128, section 132, all forged documents. And they come out and confess yet again in that journal entry, claiming to be by Joseph Smith, yet obviously when you read it, it is not. Thus far, according to the order of the Danites. We have a company of Danites in these times to put to rights physically that which is not right, and to cleanse Joseph Smith's church of very great evils which have hitherto existed among us, insomuch as Mormons cannot be put to rights by teachings and persuasions. And then confess that they were the ones who led the exodus from Kirtland to Missouri for the whole election war, a pattern similitude of their plot in the latter days. Joseph Smith, 19 July 1840, refused to be published by Brigham Young because Joseph Smith calls out the 12 apostles as Judas, specifically from the Mark passage of the last day's supper, exposing Judas, as well as Joseph Smith saying that they will also assassinate him and take his church from him and turn it Christian. Talking about their plot in the latter days to overthrow the United States of America. That the Constitution will be upon the brink of ruin. And that they will destroy Joseph Smith's church, even though it was Christian, leaving Mormons without a guide or a compass. Brigham Young took over the church after the assassination of Joseph Smith, not waiting for him to become president to coup America that way with his Joseph's assassination, so that Brigham Young could use his Council of 50 to establish martial law over the United States. So with the assassination of Joseph in Carthage jail, the other branch off after 9/11, 1826, who went down to the South to become the Confederates, then did Plan B. But Brigham Young, with his destruction of Joseph Smith, ruined it for him to stay in the United States, so he had to flee the country. And upon the completion of the Nauvoo Temple, with his new 1844 Doctrine and Covenants, with Section 119, tithing being a criminal operation instead of a storehouse for the poor. He began sealing by proxy women to Joseph Smith in his little black Epstein book. And then sealed himself and others to other women as well. Prior to, they were having sex with them. Now they were officially getting married in the undedicated temple. He then dedicates it on the anniversary of the enemy threat to mankind on the 1st of May, skipping 6th of April. He then was able to purge a number of Mormons because of that neglect. It was finished in December 1845. Why did he wait so long to dedicate it? Why was he performing ordinances when it wasn't dedicated? Why was he doing it without authorization because of Section 107, verse 2? He's not authorized to be the head of the church. He's forming his own church. Turning Joseph Smith Christian. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Oops. 1838, Joseph Smith also does his visionary accounts. The second vision specifically talks about the Jewish Christ, all of it with the Knights Templar imagery, and adds to Malachi about the day that shall burn as an oven, that those missionaries from verse 1 who would go on to put in the wrong name of the church are they who will come in the latter days to burn mankind. So Joseph Smith, or Brigham Young, fled the country with his loyalists, with the money that he stole with Section 119 that he had been doing since 1842 behind Joseph Smith's back. Russell Marion Nelson would go on to have it published in the Joseph Smith papers, claiming it was proof that Section 119 is true. It's a ledger. You know, the kind of ledger that Al Capone got locked up for. And they came out in wagons to this valley, abandoning the Mormons who were poor behind. To build up his kingdom with his polygamous wives, murdering the natives living in the land. But oh crap, Mexico seceded from the nation, handed it over to the United States of America. And so, 1848, America was deciding about what to do with the land and what to name the territories and how to gerrymander the districts. And so in 1849, they notify Brigham Young that he can become the governor of the territory of Utah that they had created. Brigham Young then filed articles of incorporation in his new territory for the perpetual slave trade operation. It was now time to bring all of the poor Mormons to amass in numbers and to colonize faster the West, to re-establish his kingdom. And it took place around 1851, more fully. And in February, before they would come, in his government, approved on February 6th, 1851, passed on February 4th, 1851, with Jedediah M. Grant as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Heber C. Kimball as the Speaker of the Senate, Thomas B. Bullock as the Clerk, Brigham Young as the Governor of the Territory of Utah, had Section 47 an ordinance incorporating the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Be it ordained by the General Assembly of the State of Deseret. Territory of Utah. What are you talking about? You know it's the territory of Utah. Governor of the Territory of Utah, Brigham Young. And then when the saints began to arrive, he then said, "You are now to practice polygamy." Adam had more than one wife. Jesus had more than one wife. You, in order to be righteous, must have more than one wife. But your original people that you brought with you already have all the women. Then go out on a mission and get your wives. But your originals are doing that already. You better hurry. A man by the name of Albert Pike confirms this 200-year-old plot, talking about it as the Third World War. Confirms the enemy in 1826. The Scottish Rites Illuminati in America. He was not in America. He was over in Europe. That they are going to cause this Third World War with the help of religion, Christianity. So that the utter destruction of the people by Christians. Finished The Handmaid's Tale. Stayed up late because I was pissed with the church's cyber terrorist attack on me yesterday again. So I stayed up late, posted the video. Christians, thus Mormons who believe they're Christians, whose deistic spirits will, from that moment of their destruction, be without a compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render their adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. Well, if you're a Mormon, you already know that exclusive added information about Lucifer and his tactics and his plan of happiness for all mankind to take away your agency. Handmaid's Tale. Christians taking away agency for Gilead. And it all came crumbling down. Resulting from the destruction of Christianity, conquered and exterminated. So yeah, Christians need to be warned too. It's amazing. So, I found the book that resulted in me living here. Joseph Fielding Smith Sr., The Way to Perfection, pages 290 and 291. Gathering at Adam on Amen. Just as with the Kirtland apostasy and the exodus of Kirtland, to gather at Adam on Amen for a government coup with election fraud, assassinations, civil war, by voice of the priesthood on page 291. This council in the Valley of Eden, baby, don't you know that you drive me crazy? Either version, The Simpsons or those Iron Butterfly guys. Hey Marge, remember when we made out to this hymn? You too, Snitchy. Classic. Classic. In the Valley of Adam on Amen is to be of the greatest importance to this world. Poor single mothers. Not without burning coal. From the usurper and impostor Lucifer. Calling the President of the United States of America in the future Lucifer. To the rightful King Jesus Christ, the head of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who claims Jesus talks to him and tells him to hurt people and force everyone to obey him, because everything physical is only to be understood spiritually, and everything is to be understood as physical, and you can know it spiritually. I keep teasing, but I need to make the time to get to that talk. That's next, folks. It's next. Our Lord will then assume the reins of government. The coup plot with the coating of Adam-on-Diamond. The world will not know of it. Members of the church at large will not know of it. Oops. The world cannot know of it. Mormons cannot know of it. It's a secret combination, by definition. Oops. My bad. Yep. 4th of November, 2016. I now start to catch on that, Perry Packer and Scott dying was a precursor to the latter days. I knew about it because of the lunar eclipses that occurred with their deaths. I was running a test. I had already learned of, Faust dies under a lunar eclipse. Hinckley dies under a lunar eclipse. I would eventually find out, right, solar eclipses too. Sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven. Lucifer. I learned from Fox 13 News Utah that there would be a total solar eclipse over the whole United States of America, because that was my field. I know exactly what it meant. The latter days are here, the coming Armageddon, and the millennium to follow. Finally, now I understand that President Benson was being literal when he told us in October 1986 that the 3 decades preceding the coming of Jesus to the Americas is a parallel of the latter days. 1996, 2006, 2016. The presidential election. But it will not be saved in Washington. Not put in his conference talk, only for BYU students. Constitution will be saved as prophesied by Joseph Smith, but it will not be saved in Washington. We're gonna coup it. And thus began my warning voice over these 9 years. Changed my whole theme and formatting. Changed my video content. 9,000 videos. And lots of fulfillment of Jewish prophecies, Joseph and Book of Mormon prophecies, and signs in the heavens galore. Sure enough, these were the latter days. It was supposed to be finished. They were supposed to be done. 3rd Nephi, chapter 7, was the year of the plot to be fulfilled. And since we now know that President Trump became the president in 2016 for 2017, thus he is now King Zedekiah in 1st Nephi chapter 1. There's the date of the coming of the Jewish Christ to Mormons, verses 8 through 10. Revelation chapter 12. They were using that date to coordinate their attack, the 2016 election. And it ended up being Trump, because Mitt Romney, the Mormon, lost to a black man? Americans would rather have a Democrat black man than a Mormon? Crap. It's bad enough that Oaks failed to make it into SCOTUS to be the sacrificial lamb of like Joseph Smith. Here's their plot for 2020. We know it's 2020 because 4 years later in the Book of Mormon is the sign in the heavens of 8 April 2024. Revelation 19, verses 11 and 17. With that lamb. Now behold, I will show unto you that they did not establish a president over the land in 2020's election. But in this same year, yea, the 2020 year, they did destroy upon the judgment seat, yea, did murder Dallin Harris Oaks, chief judge of the land of SCOTUS. Unless he failed to obtain the chief judgeship, then he would then be asked, Oaks, do us a favor though, kill the chief judge on the judgment seat. Either way. Either way. And the people were divided, one against another, Antifa and MAGA. And they did separate one from another into nation states. And thus they did destroy the federal government of the land and the United States Constitution. The experimental government destroyed by the enemy. They did yield themselves unto the power of Satan, the pure doctrine of Lucifer. And the regulations of the federal government were destroyed because of the secret combination of the friends and kindreds of those who had murdered Joseph Smith. And so, yeah, Trump was supposed to be Jacob for the 2020 election. Because if Mitt Romney became president, he wouldn't be able to run for a third term. Trump would then be the front runner for 2020. And thus would claim foul. It would have been a completely different scenario on January 6th than it was. Right, Mitt Romney? National divorce. So what the hell happened? Why is everything being repeated 2024, 2025, 2026? What the hell's going on? What happened in 2020 and 2021? Other than it seemed like it was a test run. Yep, it was. Oaks couldn't keep his mouth shut and leaked it, and it got to me. Last November. From 2020, I had just served the church to save Mormon lives, warning my government of what happened in advance. Bill Barr, you dumbass. Nonetheless, Oaks confessed to the brand new mission presidents, 14th of March, 2020 in Las Vegas, Nevada, Sin City 2. Salt Lake is Sin City 1. And he didn't believe that any of them would record him or leak him. Nobody in the world was supposed to know. Remember? Shh. Nobody's supposed to know. These mission presidents are going out on their missions for 3 years. Gone. Around the world. Scattered. With Mormons scattered around the world. Not to be gathered. To be destroyed along with the missionaries. And now 19-year-old sister missionaries at that time. Murdered. Because you will not call them home to gather Mormons to Zion, because you are the enemy. To murder Mormons and destroy all mankind with coups of governments and destructions of economies. All of their hoarding of money will be worthless when the economies are destroyed. It has no intention. I mean, yeah, they could claim to use it for their kingdom if they're allowed to have it. If the final thing does it, but monetary systems of economy are just stupid. Zion is not supposed to be run by a monetary system of economy. Real simple thing. Because once you introduce a monetary system of economy, you've destroyed your society. Good job! You have just triggered the extermination order of your civilization. That'll be 1995, please. And if you buy now, you'll also be given these Ginsu knives. Look at how they slice a tomato. Wow, a knife that cuts a tomato. I need to get this now. Memories on the commercials of my mind. Oakes confesses that they are the enemy. I'd already been warning you. I've been warning my government. Hello, you're not listening. They're going to assassinate people. They're going to coup the government. And here Oakes tells them, this is not the end of the world this year about what is coming, but merely a test, a trial run for the second coming. They that come shall burn them. The Danites. Putting to rights physically what they deem as not right, to cleanse the church and the United States of America and ultimately the entire world. Once America falls, the others will fall. Descend into war. And so then he goes and confesses. Yeah, Travis was right. We did away with the high priesthood. We did away with home teaching. We are abandoning you from preparing you. We're leaving you to yourself to survive for the fittest. We canceled an hour of church, trying to get you to stay at home. Tried to cancel the priesthood meetings, but women complained. They succeeded next year, didn't they, Oakes? You know, we reinstituted polygamy in 2019, the year before the test run. When is polygamy going to be resumed, Mormons? Oh, the millennium? Oh, and 2020 was a test run for the millennium with the second coming of burning flame Jesus. Huh. 11 years old now, huh? For little girls? Handmaid's Tale. Christians. Yep. And despite them shutting me up, Gaddy versus COP got through in the press, but she failed. Seriously, just one book. Kate Birmingham thinks she's an expert. Got humiliated. Do not call tithing a donation. Dumbass Mormons. Dumbass billionaire. All you had to do. Tithing is not a donation, Your Honor. It's a criminal operation. They were shut down for this criminal operation of tithing by the United States of America in 1887. They didn't obey. They kept it going, just like they kept going with polygamy. They have not changed, Your Honor. We need to reinstall the extermination order. If you're a seditious conspirator, it's the death penalty. They were denying us our religious freedom for child bride polygamy. I can do those videos too, Oakes, of you going around the world telling everybody how mean America is. We want to rape little girls and they won't let us. It's Church of the Devil for a reason. It has the symbols of the devil on the keystone of the doors of the Salt Lake Temple for a reason. Mormons got punked and betrayed. And they take it out on me. We don't like that you told us and are trying to save our lives, Travis. Die! So yes, with this reboot, it's not a test anymore. Trump has to do it or they will lock him up. So if you've been paying attention, if you've read his Art of the Deal, you know what he's doing. Since you're not watching my videos, if you're even listening still and you're brand new and not a regular follower, who already knows this information, Travis. We already know. We're bored. Give us something new. Let's go back to talk about redheads, Travis. Talk about the redhead you saw yesterday. Who claimed she was married. She didn't want to rush into anything. She's a Russian spy. She wants your Paleo-Hebrew research that's available for free on academia. So, yeah, this time there's some changes, but it's still the same pattern. Instead of a national divorce, they're forcing states through redistricting to declare themselves as MAGA or Antifa. You get the juice. Setting it all up. So SCOTUS helping with this, agreeing with Texas's declaration of MAGA, then retaliated by Virginia, who are now going to redistrict it to be Antifa. California already did it. Utah already did it. And this is why Mormons must listen to me. And you won't, will you? Trump is setting it up for next year's election to trigger the states to all redistrict in advance of the election for the purpose of declaring civil war, not against the cities anymore, but against the Antifa states, to divide America. Trump, instead of becoming the Confederate leader in 2020, 2021 technically, as Jacob, because that's who Jacob is, he's the Confederate leader. He gathers the states that follow him, and they form their own government. Nonetheless, supposed to have failed. Because America would not be divided into states at that time, per se. Be a general MAGA, depending on the governors. But this time, he's making the division established with all that he is doing to torture Americans, shutting down the federal government, firing the federal agencies. And so, yes, he hasn't done it completely. He could have, he didn't. So Nelson had to come out in April conference and said, I don't know the day and the hour anymore if Jesus is coming. Crap. But yeah, Travis was right. They were shutting things down, expecting April to have been the big boom, the big bang. And it didn't happen. And so Nelson died on the calendar date and clock time of the prophecy of Travis Wayne Goodsell. Oakes comes out in conference and says, we had no intention of continuing the church. We don't have any temples to announce. Travis was right about the devotionals for young adults. And so, because Trump is still delaying it into next year, and the church hasn't fallen yet, they're resuming their activities for young adult devotionals, for the Christmas devotional tomorrow, though nobody's assigned, because they don't know if it's even going to happen. Oh no, Oakes is on his deathbed. If he dies, then there's no first presidency. And so then there's no first presidency Christmas devotional. So we'll just put it in there, and as long as he doesn't die, we'll just assign whoever is functioning well enough to do it. Maybe it'll be D. Todd Christofferson, whose brother Wade just got down on Friday. D. Todd. See, it was the father in Utah that turned him in to have him turn himself in. But there's some weirdness going on with the reporting. You know, like Tyler Robinson. Really? So, that building, huh? As Candace Owen just came out this past week. There's no blood out the back. If he was shot from that building, there's no blood out the back. That's weird. That building. We all saw the kill shot. Only the real news is now the fake news who would not show the kill shot. Our viewers who are Christian are going to be angry. Heaven forbid we should know the truth, that it was an assassination. And the assassin got away. And Tyler Robinson has his whole life destroyed as the scapegoat Mormon. The patsy. And dear God, they are vilifying him. He's an Antifa, communist, terrorist, furry, trans. God. We must get to Zion and commence building it before the trigger event civil war in America. This isn't a situation where we can procrastinate. I don't know. Maybe America, we can just choose with our vote in the upcoming election next year. We have seen more than enough of people who wait until the natural disaster destroys them to know that you don't wait until you're destroyed to then go, oh, I think we better flee. I think we better get to safety. When you know it's coming in advance, you don't wait, see what happens. You leave. This is my frustration. The closer we get to the trigger event, the less likely Zion will be built. Utter destruction of the people. Tale as old as time, sure as it can be, Mormons will not flee. I'm making this up as I go. I run out of things to say. Because the more time we have to build Zion, which means we've gathered you, the safer we will be. So yes, while I pull up section 45, during Trump's first term, he told us not to listen to the CDC. Don't listen to them. Fake news. Fake news. Follow me and you will never go hungry again. I will be king. No king, la 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 la. See the redhead? No, it was clear she didn't care for the Disney versions of the Grimm's fairy tales. But yeah, apparently the Grimm's fairy tales were even more graphic for her. Too graphic. Despite her interest in Halloween and the blood and carnage. Yeah, little redhead. Little redheaded girl. And so here in the second term, as he's destroying the federal government and destroyed the CDC, now it's doctors who are telling the states, don't listen to the CDC. Don't do it. Natives are now not citizens and are getting deported. I called it from the beginning. But I'm not illegal. I'm a citizen. I speak English. I was born in East LA. With the president from Death Valley days. Video yesterday in the news of a little teen girl running away from ICE and running into her home, and the neighbor coming out and confronting ICE. And this is public land, the sidewalk is public, we can stand here. No, get the hell out. Leave us alone, we're citizens. You're not listening to Trump. You're not getting the bigger picture. Zion and New Jerusalem, as Joseph Smith called them in July 1840, the mountain cities. It is the most incredible design I have ever known. Where is it, Travis? What? Where's the who has the blueprints? Where'd you get them? Right here. A land of peace, a city of refuge, a place of safety for the saints of Emmanuel, the sun god at noonday, the latter-day Christ. And the glory of the Lord shall be there, and the terror of the Lord shall also be there, insomuch that the wicked will not come into it. And it shall be called Zion. And it shall come to pass among the wicked, that every man who will not take his sword against his neighbor must needs flee unto Zion for safety. Do you see how Joseph Smith is warning us? Get Zion built before the war. And there shall be gathered unto it, not spread out, scattered among all nations. Join the church where you are and paying tithing. That's the new gathering. Gathering to the church and paying Jesus back for his atonement that was free for you. That is the gathering of Mormons to Zion because of the worldwide extermination event that's coming. And it shall be the only people that shall not be at war one with another. And it shall be said among the wicked, let us not go up to battle against Zion, for Mormons are terrible. We can't stand them. Prophecy fulfilled for that. It shall come to pass among the righteous that the righteous shall be gathered out from among all nations. You know, the keys of the Christ of the Jews, the man like Moses, for the Exodus. And shall come to Zion, singing with songs of everlasting joy, in the God of David, baby. Don't you know that you drive me crazy? Oh, won't you come with me and take my hand? How does he do it? But you don't care, do you? You want to die for Jesus. We're done. You know, there's the stuff that I threw in last night. The Salt Lake City arrest for AI. He's got AI, get him! And, oh yeah, Trump created a FIFA Peace Prize because he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. And he became the first recipient of the newly created Peace Prize. Trump gets his Peace Prize after all. I'd like to thank everybody. I got the thumbnail pictures. I don't think I'll put... I'm here at the end. You already know. But I decided.